And when Election Day does arrive, voters will decide whether Wisconsin's Supreme Court remains under liberal control or flips to a conservative majority, with the balance of the court up for grabs.
Yeah, ahead of the April 1st election, CBS 58 is sitting down with both candidates. Capitol correspondent Emily Fannin joins us in studio to start our series highlighting the consequential race. Emily?
Tonight, we kick things off with the state Supreme Court candidate backed by Democrats. That's Dane County Judge Susan Crawford. While the race is officially nonpartisan, Crawford and her opponent, Waukesha County Judge Brad Schimmel, are dropping hints on how they might rule on controversial issues as they try to mobilize voters in these final 2 weeks before Election Day.
Tell them that you're choosing common sense over
the race to fill a 10-year term on the state Supreme Court could have major ramifications on abortion policy, union rights, and congressional maps in the battleground state. Upwards to $60 million has poured into the matchup, largely thanks to high-profile national donors like Elon Musk and George Soros. Susan Crawford and her Democratic allies have been critical of Musk's involvement by tying the Trump advisor to her opponent, Brad Schimmel.
When you have somebody like Elon Musk involved in the race, as he says, counting on getting Brad Schimmel on the court to advance Trump's agenda. That is highly partisan, in my view.
Democrats have put Crawford forward as the liberal candidate who will preserve abortion rights and flip 2 Republican-held House seats under new congressional maps. Despite being outspoken on both issues, Crawford declined to say how she addressed cases involving those matters if elected.
I trust other women to make the right decisions for themselves and their families, along with their doctors. It is not a legal position.
Do you think the current congressional maps are gerrymandered?
I don't have an opinion on that because I simply haven't studied them closely enough.
On April 1st, voters will also be asked whether to enshrine the Wisconsin's voter ID requirement into the state constitution. When asked about the 2011 law, Crawford signaled she's okay with it, despite challenging it years ago at her private practice and previously calling it draconian.
The law as it exists today is not the law that I was in court challenging. I was a lawyer. I was representing the interests of my client in the courtroom, and it's just a mistake to confuse that with personal viewpoints.
In the closing weeks of the race, Crawford is also defending against GOP attacks about sentences she handed out as a Dane County judge. That includes standing by her decision to sentence a child sex offender to 4 years in prison after the prosecutor requested 10.
Looking back at that case now, would you have ruled any differently?
I stand behind the sentences that I've issued.
You can watch much more of our interview with Susan Crawford at CBS58.com. And coming up next Tuesday, we sit down with Brad Schimmel. Jessup, Natalie, back to you.